Hi guys, welcome to episode 1 of the Twin Tella podcast. I'm Ava.
I'm Aveen.
And we're just two twins who start a podcast giving you guys a little glimpse into our life, and hopefully you guys enjoy some of the stories that we share. So Aveen, to someone who, because a lot of people wonder just what being a twin is like, so what would you say a twin is like in your eyes and how your experience has been?
That's a very good question. I would basically just say, I always describe this, when I'm talking to other people about it, I know it might sound a little cliche, but I always describe it as having a built-in best friend. It's someone who is around you all the time, knows basically every single little thing about you, someone you can always trust and go to, someone who's going to give it to you straight, and it's just a built-in best friend, and you feel like you have immense and infinite unconditional support from them, and you don't really feel the need to kind of force yourself to be friends with people or kind of put in, like, I guess you don't feel the pressure to kind of make friends or, you know, go out and put yourself out there as much, because you know you always have somebody that's gonna always support you and always be with you. And so I feel like it's like the most authentic and true form or version of having like a soulmate or like a built-in best friend. So yeah, that's how I describe it.
You call me your soulmate?
Yeah, oh my God. Maybe. I don't know.
Do you like being a twin? Like if you were to be born again and they're like,
absolutely not. I would.
You don't want to be a twin?
No, sorry. I would 100%. Just to clarify, I would 100%. I wouldn't want to be like anything other than a twin. And I know mom and dad told us that we might be triplets. Like I remember.
Yeah, we
that
were
was
supposed
like,
to. For those that don't know, Aveen and I are fraternal twins. We're two girls. But we were actually supposed to be triplets. Which, when did we find out that we were supposed to be triplets?
No, like we literally found out we were supposed to be triplets like in like 5th grade. Like
it was very late.
This was like also, very unbeknownst to all of us. And then like all of a sudden they were like, yeah, like y'all were supposed to be triplets. But then like our parents like prepared for twins though. Like it was like, oh, like
no, sadly like one of ours died. Like
one of ours died. One of Av and I's children
one of our siblings passed away. But we were, this might be TMI, but anyway, we were supposed to be triplets. But we're twins.
Yes.
So, yeah, we're just twins. But
no,
you
but
would
see,
be
like, again, in that same preface of like in the same realm of that conversation, like I would not want to, like, I think having a twin would be like superior.
Yeah,
like,
having a twin is superior.
It really is,
in my opinion.
It truly is.
Like, there's just, on top of what you said too about not needing friends, I think that's huge,
bro.
I mean, obviously, like everyone
it's not
needs
friends, but like, yeah,
like everyone wants to have friends, but like being a twin, it's like I can literally have everyone in the school hate me and know I have someone who likes me. Yeah. Hopefully.
No, but like I am. You know what? It kind of sucks. I'm just kidding. No, but I'm just saying, like, I 100% agree with you. Like, if everybody just decided to just drop you from the place of the planet, like, you know that your twin at least is there.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I feel like not a lot of people have, some people really have like really close relationships with their sibling or like stuff like that. So I get how that can be kind of, I guess, simulated in some way, but it's just something different about having somebody who goes through the very similar life course. Maybe not identical, but very similar upbringing. Very similar development. Different. It's just different because it's like they've gone through most of the stuff that you've gone through. They understand. It's different than having like an older sibling who like maybe grew up kind of similarly and then is just kind of showing you the ropes. Y'all are going through the ropes together. So I feel like it's a little bit different.
And being like a twin, like, do you think you, like, when you were growing up, did you hate like someone looking like you? Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like dressing, because Aveen and I, we didn't dress the same. We did up until like kindergarten.
It wasn't even the same. It was basically like if we had the exact same shirt in like a different color, and Ava like would come to school one day wearing pink, and then I would go to the same, like, a different class wearing like green, and like we would like meet at recess and be like, hey, and it would just be like, they say, ow.
Yeah, Aveen also got her wisdom teeth removed, so
oh my God, that like literally hurt.
Okay.
Pink and green. Yeah, we're good. I was just literally like checking my tooth, but like no, it would basically be like two people who looked very similar just running up to each other wearing the exact same thing in like a different color. So it was basically like the same girl, different font, like that.
Yeah, but here's also the other thing, like Aveen and I, because we were fraternal, we don't look exactly alike, so people would still mix us up mix us up. But I think that's just because they would think, oh, they're the twins. Which face goes with Ava and which face goes with Aveen.
Agreed.
Not because we
like
really
not because
looked
we
at alike.
actually looked that different, but like growing up though, like when we were really little, we did look a lot more similar. Like as we've gotten older, like it's very distinct. Like there's
it's very different.
It's cut and dry, like chalk and cheese.
And people
like, very different.
I don't even think people. Our friends don't. Nobody mixes it up.
Nobody mixes it up unless it's like literally like unintentional name wise.
Yeah.
Like they'll look at me and just call me Ava.
Because it's funny because I
though
feel
they
like
know I'm a
because I do this too. Because we have a lot of friends that are twins too.
Oh my god, we have four sets of twins.
Yeah. So sometimes like I'll look at them and think like I know their name, but both of them pop into my mind. I feel like having friends that are twins made me realize, oh, like it's actually easy to mess you up even though you know the difference.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. No, but that's interesting.
Yeah. So if like you had to say, like, how was growing up in elementary school? Like, did you
So the thing is, elementary school, so just to preface, like Ava and I, we went to the exact same school, K through 12, elementary, high school. We're at the same university, Hookham, even though initially Ava didn't necessarily want to go to the same school as me. That was another caveat.
No, but really?
Yeah, you kind of did.
What do you mean?
I mean, you did. Like, remember, like, we were talking, like, oh, like, remember, I was like, I want to go to the same school as Ava, and I was like, well, like, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
You totally had an era of, like, I want to be separate.
But it wasn't like if we ended up at the same school, I'd have been like, mad.
Yeah, totally not.
It was just like, I was okay with separating.
Yeah.
And Aveen was a little bit more like, which is fine.
No, but, like,
you do you.
No, but I was pretty much, like, very much, back to the question. Growing up, I guess, because, okay, this is what I was getting at. Mom wanted us to be in different classes. So we were, even though we were in the same
school. But
in
preschool, we were in the same classes. And
but, like, I don't really remember preschool.
Aveen cried.
Here we go.
In preschool, when she got separated and she started crying. Sorry. I just had to say that. It's just cute.
I know, yeah. Ava was never a crier. Like, Mom would literally leave and she'd be, like, unbothered. Like, I was, like, I would throw a tantrum. But, like, pretty much, so I think growing up in elementary school, middle school, all of that, like, I feel like we were always, because we were just always together, not necessarily because we liked all of the same things. Like, some of our hobbies did line up. Like, we've played volleyball for a very long time. We, like, I guess
we just enjoyed the same things. Like, I don't remember Aveen and I ever having like the same toys and being like, I don't like that. Like, we always played the same stuff. We always enjoyed the same things. But like
personality wise, like even though like we enjoyed like we enjoyed the same things, but like there was a lot of key differences in our personalities. And I feel like the one thing that I just kind of not like disliked, but like the one thing that I guess was kind of a con was the fact that like even like I always loved painting and drawing and being artistic and stuff, and Ava was like absolutely just not really into that. But because everybody just kind of associated us together, Ava would sometimes be dragged into doing some of the things that I liked.
That's
just
true.
Because she was a twin. Like, I remember our parents signed us. I loved art. Like, I still love it, but like Ava literally had to go to the painting class that I was in for like 2+ years just because I was in it, and they were like, oh, like Aveen's doing it.
I will never forget that teacher.
Like, literally,
we were there.
Slayed.
So
Miss Doreen, if you're listening to this, we love you.
We went to this class, and Aveen was always great at art. And I just didn't, like, I liked painting-ish, but, like, not really. Like Aveen did. And, like, I wasn't as good as Aveen. But I just vividly remember sitting there, and I was in this art class, and I was kind of bored. So my head was, like, you know when you're bored and you're just laying down and your elbows on the desk and your head's, like, slouched into your hand?
Like you're resting your face
like you're resting
your
your face, like you're relaxing. I remember sitting there, and I was just painting. And the teacher came up to me and went, your head can sit on its own. Don't look like that when you're painting. And I was just like, this girl just I was just relaxing, having a great time. And she's like, your head can sit up on its own.
Your head can stand
After
upright.
that, I was like, Mom, I don't want to come here anymore. And she didn't make me go after that.
No,
but you went alone. I remember Aveen went alone.
There was an era that I did go alone. But
she
again,
was so mean.
She was great. It was literally like, I don't know. So it's like things like that where it's like we would be associated together not because we just for the sake that we were like twins, or it's like personality wise when we were different, people would just lump us together because we were like twins, and like we didn't like there was like a lot of times where we were
always
taller,
like a duo, like
this,
the
like
twins,
that,
like, and it's fine because I feel like low key, I feel like being twins made us a little bit more known to people. Like I feel like if I was a
like,
solo
you mean
person,
recognizable.
yeah, like
Yeah,
recognizable. Like if I was
for
a
sure.
solo,
I was solo.
I was riding solo. I don't think people would know of me as much as if I was a twin. Because when you're a twin, it's like cool, you know. Like people usually aren't twins, so people just remember, oh, she's the twin.
Yeah, and also it was super funny because the elementary school that we went to, there was literally like if we're talking about elementary school, middle school, high school era, like there was literally like 5 sets of twins in our class. Like there was always like
Yeah, there was a
we were
lot of
never like the
twins.
only twins.
But we were the only girl twins.
Were we?
Yeah. The rest were boy or boy-girl. Yeah.
I think.
We were the only girl.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I didn't think
But yeah, growing up
Interesting. I
we
didn't even
were
think that.
yeah, we were the
Wow,
only the
what a
girl,
connection.
which I feel like is kind of weird because most twins are girl.
I don't even think that's true. I think you're just thinking that right now because our current friend group has a lot of girl twins.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like
I think it's just
maybe that's why.
your environment now is like very girl.
Yeah, I feel like though for some reason I feel like girl is the most common. We
Let's-
should search it up.
We'll search it up later.
Anyway, we'll do it.
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
yeah,
that's another good point we were talking about how like throughout elementary school we did not have the same classes. Like
no.
our mom made it, and I think some twins
I, like,
don't like have the
appreciate
same
that.
classes, but like Aveen and I, mom was like, you guys are going to be in different classes, which I did appreciate. I don't
really
know,
did.
like I feel
it
like
was good.
I feel like even if we were in the same class, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal.
No, but like I think development wise though, like again, because so much like of our I guess surrounding friends and like a lot of the people that we were hanging out with and just people in general tended to lump us together. I feel like because we were in different classes to a certain extent, you were able to make your friends and I was able to make
Yeah.
my friends, and then like they would lump us together afterwards. So it's like even like growing up and stuff, Ava, like because everybody knew I was his twin, I didn't really feel the need to like tell people, like everybody knew about you. Like I would talk to somebody and they already knew that like, oh, here's Aveen. Oh, like then there's Ava. Like, you know, like because
Yeah.
or vice versa, right? So it's like they were already talking to me with the preface or like with the preconceived idea of like, oh, Aveen has a twin. And I feel like even now, like whenever I meet new people, like as I'm like an older, I guess, adult, I guess, I always feel the need now, even though like you're not meeting, like there's some people that I know that you just simply haven't met.
Yeah.
I always feel the need to tell them that I'm a twin.
I feel like that too.
And it's so weird because it doesn't like because it's,
matter
like,
anymore.
you know, it matters. But like I get what you're saying. Like it's not like I feel like it's like something I need to tell them. Like
Yeah, like
right?
like
whenever
it's a fun fact, but not
but,
really
like,
fun.
But
It's like
literally
me.
talking about the fact. Yeah, exactly. Like every time like I'm in like a new lab or like we're going around and like introducing ourselves, and then they'll be like, so like what's a fun like invariably my fun fact is that like I have a twin, and like it's not really like,
even like
there's so many
even
other
that
things
thing
I
where
could
you
say.
wrote, you
Like,
wrote
there's
on your
literally-
little bio thing. You were like, my sister is my twin,
Yeah.
and she's a business major.
Yeah.
She's
I
like,
was-
that's my fun
No,
fact.
literally, like I TA'd a cell bio lab this last semester, and literally like my entire bio was literally like I explained Ava just as much as I explained to me, which is like so funny because none of my students even would meet you. Like there's just no, it's just funny. Like I always feel the need to say that when again there are more interesting there's other interesting fun facts about you other than the fact that like, you know, you have a twin.
Yeah.
And it's like what are even people, how would people even respond to that? Oh, cool.
And they
That's
don't
it.
even say
No,
that.
like there's no follow-up. Like there's
Yeah.
no like unless like they're like, oh, like my like sibling is a twin, or you know what I mean? It's just
And that's
funny.
very rare.
Oh my god, I've never had like said like, oh, like I have a twin, and they're like, oh my, actually
Other than,
maybe
like,
maybe a few times where
yeah.
they're like, oh my god, me too, but like again, other than the oh my god, me too, it's literally always like, cool, moving on.
move
Yeah,
on.
right. I don't know. It's just funny.
Yeah, I think that's so. Yeah, it just happens like that. But and then with the friend groups too, because I feel like a lot of times people make friends with one of us first, and then
Oh, yeah.
they'll meet the other, and they'll mutually become like it's an automatic 3 friend group when you meet one of us.
Not
For the
now
most-
as much.
Not now, because college, you know, you have because Avina and I now like. We had a lot of the same classes in elementary and high school, but now because Avina and I used to be the same major, but now we're different.
Mhm.
So now we kind of are around different people,
You're
around
like, oh,
different.
snake.
Yeah, McCombs is the UT Business School for those listening that don't know. But yeah, she calls me a McCombs snake, and I call Avina Pee-wee pre-med.
I can't even deny it. I cannot even deny it.
I love Pee-wee pre-med.
Pee-wee
It just
is
sounds so much
freaking
better.
hilarious.
I'm
It's
sorry.
so funny.
Am I the first person? Should I trademark that?
Yeah, literally trademark that.
Um,
If anyone's listening, you're not
Pee-wee
allowed to take that. You
pre-med.
heard it here first.
Okay, yeah, but no hate to pre-meds. I'm just
Pee-wee pre-med.
calling it a Pee-wee pre-med. But when we were younger, for the most part, if they were one of Avina and I's friends,
Oh
they
yeah,
were
100%.
the opposite friend too.
And like we would never like be invited to birthday. Like there was maybe
Solo,
like two,
yeah.
like two that like Ava got invited to that like I just simply sat back.
Or
like, maybe
vice
two.
versa.
Yeah, like very like I would say 99%. If Ava was invited to hang out with someone, it was like almost like implied that like I would be there too. Like it wasn't like
Yeah.
And nowadays like it's like, oh, like Ava's gonna go hang out with X person, okay, bye. Like because they just know us separately, there's more of like a divide. Like even like before we went to university, Ava and I, like everybody would look at us and instantly think that we were twins. But now that we're at college, barely like people are like, oh, y'all are like
It's
sisters.
so
Or
weird.
I thought y'all were just like really close best friends.
Yeah,
And I'm
it's
like,
so weird
what?
because in high school, it's like everyone could automatically tell we were twins. And
Yeah.
now in college, like when we say that,
people
people
like,
are
literally
shocked.
confused.
and
People are
I've
literally
never
confused.
dealt with that as much.
No,
Because
it doesn't bother me though.
I
Like
think-
I'm not like
I think it's because of the environment, maybe because there's so many more people. It's like, you know, I don't know, maybe it's like harder to see that we're twins because we're not always near each other and you don't see the same people over and over again.
or it's like they don't see like the parallel mannerisms because
Or-
we have like some mannerisms and
and
stuff
we
that
don't
are
like
the same.
walk together to school, you know, like in
Yeah,
elementary
yeah,
and
yeah.
high school, you're like walking together. I don't know. It's like a lot of them, but after they're like, oh, I see it now. Or like,
Kinda.
kind of, but it's
But like
so
even
weird.
like with our really close friends, they're like, yeah, you guys are so different. Like personality.
Oh,
Again,
once you
like-
meet Avina and I, we're very different. Not that different, but like personality wise, yes, we're different.
Yeah.
And we look different.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
yeah.
We also for some I'm 2 minutes older. I almost said Alpha is 2 minutes older as if I'm talking about myself. I'm 2 minutes older, but no one ever like was like, oh, she's obviously the older one.
Yes.
Until now. That's my point. Like
Oh.
every time I would also I used
This
to
was
be
it was a funny story. So literally, so Ava used to be. So the thing is, Ava always used to be older, but I always used to be taller. And so before, like again, the whole era of like people would look at us and like not think we're twins. So now that we're older, people again don't think that. We were sitting at a restaurant in our little Dallas bubble. And we were sitting at this place. It's like a Tex-Mex restaurant that's like super iconic where we live. It's so good. Even though the price, Alvin literally had it the other day.
oh my god, it
50,
tripled.
y'all, 59 or like
55 bucks
almost
for a-
$60. Let's just say $60 for a fajita for two. Like what the actual hell is
Yeah.
that? Anyways, and so literally, so we were sitting down at our restaurant, eating our queso, vibing with our chips, having a great time. And then all of a sudden, we had a really sweet waiter. Like I remember she was like super awesome. And so
It was
she-
also her birthday.
it was also
like,
her
she was
birthday.
waiting
Like,
on her
she
birthday.
was so like we were like, why are you doing this? Like literally go celebrate. Anyways, and so she was super sweet, super, and like we all like we started talking about her daughter, like it was adorable. And then like she looks at us, right, and she's like, oh, like what about like you guys? And we were like, oh, like we're twins. Like we go, and she's like, oh my gosh, like I thought you were like she was looking at me, Aveen. In case you guys don't know our voice differences, like she was looking at me and she was like, oh my god, like I thought you were like 3 years younger. Like you just look so like angelic. And I literally, and Ava was so funny. She was literally like, so what? Am I the devil? And
Yeah.
it was literally the poor lady was like, oh my god, no, like I don't mean it like that. I don't know. It was just funny. It was more funny like in the moment, but
it was
again,
just funny the way she like she thought we were so much different when that
Yeah.
had never happened before.
yeah.
And I think it also has to do with the fact that like growing up, I was extremely like we're talking, you know, some twins you see guys and they're like 2 inches or not 2 inches, they're like a little height different. Like their difference in heights is small. When
Yeah.
we were growing up, like I'd say Aveen and I were like what 10, 9, I don't know, but like I was to Aveen's shoulder. To
Oh,
where like
girl,
if you
you're-
saw
yeah.
us, like when we look back at photos, like old photos of us, we do not look like twins.
No.
Which is why like at that point like it would make sense for them to think that Aveen was older, but like now it's just so weird. Like people say like I look not that much older than you, but like
no, but like
older.
at least
people,
like a year. A
yeah,
year.
which I don't. Do I need Botox?
No, you simply don't.
But you know, like,
you know, your crow's feet could use some. I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
but like I don't.
Your face
I
is shining and beautiful.
oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so we've just never dealt with the age difference looking different until now.
But
and
literally,
recently.
but then again, nobody has ever said I look older.
No, that's true. Nobody's ever said that.
Even when I was
older.
taller.
Except for someone. Someone said that you, and we were like, really? Remember? We asked somebody. I forgot who it was.
It was like some random person somewhere. Like it was kind
but
of
it's
like,
very rare. Like it's like 99 to 1.
I'm saying like not that opinion was irrelevant, but like if we're gonna compare it to like the 20 other like years of opinions that we've gotten, like that one's just like a
wild card.
Yeah, it's just a wild card.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that was like an anomaly.
Yeah, which is so weird because I don't know what it is. Like I always ask people, like, is it something? And they're like, no. No,
it's just a vibe.
It's just a vibe.
I just give
off old vibe.
I don't know. Like I don't know. It might just like be a personality thing too, because in general,
it is a personality.
Like
because
someone just also a lot more
who was talking about it. Aveen is very much more like, we were talking about this the other day too. Aveen's an extrovert. And every time I tell people I'm an introvert-ish, they're like, no, you're not an introvert. But like, I am.
You're like a selective extrovert. Does that make sense? Like you're not inherently introverted, but if you're around someone where you don't really feel like you want to talk, or like you don't feel the need to give energy to the conversation or to the person, you're just not going to say anything.
But that's also the other thing. Like whenever we were talking, like an introvert to me doesn't like
social
at the party they need to go to the bathroom and close the door and refresh and recharge.
You don't need to
I do that.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to do that.
Depends.
Well,
it depends on, but yeah, generally no. Your argument is no, I'm just kidding. No, generally yes, I agree.
Generally, yeah, but like that's the thing. Like in a conversation, you're usually the one that's like, oh, like, hello, like, how are you, OMG, like, LOL, like that's what you do.
Ava makes fun of me. She says I say LOL like non-discriminately, but like it's not true anymore. Like I used to, but not anymore.
But you're more socially extroverted, and I think that bubbly personality people just associate with being younger.
Oh, for sure. I think that's it,
and that's the vibe. But like
again,
sometimes people have said I look older when our personalities have not been contrasted in front of them.
Yeah, but like the other thing is, it's like when Ava walks into a room, like it's a very like like I don't know how to explain it. Like it's almost like it's like she's arrived. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like a very like calming, like confident energy. You know what I mean? Like it's just like a very like I've entered the building, boss ass finance woman energy kind of vibe. And so I feel like people associate that with older, right? Like more mature. Like Ava's again a lot more calm, a lot more like let's think logically, and I'm just like let's fucking I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss.
You're allowed.
Let's just like pop off. Like let's just go. Oh, we're jumping off the building. Like let's go. And I'll just like look back at Ava. Like, can I? Like, you know what I mean? Because that's the other thing. It's like the whole can I thing, right? Like I would always ask, like if I was about to do like I wanted to do something like a little bit like off the rails or like kind of crazy, I would look at Ava first and be like, can I? And Ava would be like, or like, sure. Like, or mom's not gonna like this. Like I remember one time when we were growing up, again, loved painting, loved art, everything. And we were so like we weren't really like in Dallas. We were like in another city before. And growing, like we had like we always differentiate between like the old house and the new house, because the new house was like where we were after kindergarten, and like the old house was like where we were like preschool. And so we were in like the old house, and I remember my mom bought brand new like fresh roses, and she put them on like the counter, and they were like out of the house, like we were like by ourselves. And so I was like really bored, and so what I decided to do is I just like started picking off some of the petals and like just playing with them, like, you know, I was like I'm just a girl.
I love that audio.
Oh my god, this is so funny.
Dad was talking about changing a tire, and we were like, we do not know how to change a tire.
Yeah.
And we go, I'm just a girl.
I don't know. It's funny. But yeah, so then I was just playing around with flowers. Like I liked them. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't know what happened, but like I started experimenting with them. So I just started, and our walls were white. Like we had porcelain white walls. And so I started smearing the rose petals against the walls. And then I noticed that because the roses were pink, the color of the rose was transferring onto the wall. And so I went crazy. So I grabbed all the rose petals, started smearing them up against the wall. And like Ava came down, I'll never forget. She was like, Aveen, what are you doing? And I was like, oh my God, I'm just like painting. And Ava saw how cute it was, and she just started painting. And that also takes me like to another story. So whenever we moved to the new house, we got the first chance to like, because this was the first time Ava got her own room and I got mine. And so the huge debate was like, oh, like Ava and I have like a little bit of independence now that we're in like kindergarten. Like Ava gets to pick what she wants for her room color and I get to pick what I want. And so again, me being me, I wanted the same pink with flowers. Like that was what I wanted. And again, because Ava's favorite color, guys, has always been yellow. Like from kindergarten to beyond, like Ava has always loved yellow. And she was like, well, I want a yellow room. And my dad literally like basically was like, again, twins, the whole twins thing was literally like, Ava, like you are getting
and pink. I knew I wanted yellow like as soon as they gave us the choice.
Yeah.
And so we were painting and our dad was like, Ava, like, are you sure you want yellow? Because Aveen wants pink with flowers and I don't want you to get jealous of her having a pink room. I was like, I know I want yellow, but
she got a pink
I got
room.
pink and flowers.
She got a pink room. And it's like, I don't know. The pink room kind of slayed because
the pink room was cute.
It was
so
exciting. Cute. Like it was so exciting. It was brand new, and like
we had flowers on there that had like little jewels in the center. And our dad made us so scared. He was like, "If I come in and I see that you pick the jewel off the flower, I am painting your whole room white or black." Or
he said some scary color.
Yeah, he said like your room's gonna look like shit. Basically.
No, basically insert scary color.
So like, we did not touch the wall at all.
We were literally afraid. Like we were like anytime we would play, we would like make it a thing to be like a foot away from the wall because we didn't even want
a chip.
Yeah,
of
anything, even like partially touching it.
Always like
we
always followed what our parents said. Like,
we were not
like the wild
let's
child.
Sneak out. Like no, we didn't do that. We were literally like we are gonna get in trouble. I remember I think we were like grounded maybe like once or twice.
I was grounded once in not sixth grade, kindergarten. And I was like, what does that mean, Dad? And he was like, this is what it means. And I remember one of my friends was having a birthday party that week. And she asked me, like, can you go? And I go, I'm grounded. I'm sorry. And then I felt like so cool saying that. Like, you know, some people are like sad when they're grounded. I was like, I'm grounded. I can't go to your birthday. And then I went home and I told my dad and I was like, hey, like, it's your birthday. And he was like, you can go. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
That's funny. I don't know. I feel like grounding someone in like kindergarten is like kind of pointless.
Yeah, what did I even do?
I think you just said like none of your beeswax or something.
Yeah,
Mom, like something
our
weird.
Mom, like, shout out Mom, but like sometimes she thinks like none of your beeswax is like she crossed the damn line with that. Like,
oh, it's just funny. I don't know. It might have been something completely random, but like it was. I don't know.
What were we talking about? Us doing the same thing?
Yeah, and then I don't know. Like it was just. We were just talking about like this was like the whole conversation of like I guess I said like a con of being like a twin.
And a lot of people like ask. I think the other con we didn't really touch on is like being compared to each other.
Oh yeah,
Aveen and I growing up, like we were always like we studied a lot, like we wanted to stay on top of our grades, and so a lot of people would always be like, who's smarter, which is such an annoying ass question because what are you going to do with that information?
No, like
if I say like Aveen is smarter, okay, like now what?
It was just natural comparison.
Or like Aveen and I always played volleyball, so they'd always be like, who's the better player, even though like we're literally different positions. Like it was just stupid stuff. And it's like I don't know, like I feel like that idea is so weird in and of itself. Like when you see two people that are twins and you automatically like ask a question about it.
And the thing is, it's like everybody also I also kind of felt this whenever people were asking like who's smarter, who's better at this, who's better at that, like oh like and Ava was like always like especially when it came to like school, like Ava like I've told this to like a lot of people before. I don't think me personally, like Ava can disagree with this, but like growing up, if I didn't have Ava as like my twin, like I don't think I would have been as academically successful now. And I really stand by that because Ava was incredibly just naturally academically talented. Like she just like, Ava knows what I'm about to say. But there was like a time like even like growing up, like whenever there would be reading tests or math tests, like Ava would just excel, or like she like had this like innate drive.
Like I vividly remember there's a story. I think this is the one you're gonna say. Like
exactly.
I always like, you know, when they're like #love academic validation. Like in kindergarten, like I just liked doing the most.
Yeah.
And so I remember in first grade, like we had like a reading test or something, and I remember our teacher was like, okay, like we're gonna test you on your reading, like read this passage. And you have to read it like we're testing you on like accuracy and speed. And so when I heard speed, I was like, I gotta read this as fast as I fucking can.
She
So
literally
like
took
I
one
read this
breath and
passage,
went.
like it was like a whole like Little Red Riding Hood passage, and I was reading it like the Little Red Riding Hood one instead of like I was like an auctioneer in like first grade, and it wasn't even the point. Like it was just that is like an example of how like I was so focused on it and liked it that I literally read like an auctioneer in first grade just to do it.
Yeah, like,
And we weren't even having grades.
it wasn't even it was literally
grades.
nobody cared. Like literally there was no
nothing.
reason to care, but
No.
Ava just intrinsically always had that like, I want to get the best of this. I just want to be the best at everything.
Yeah.
And I was just like here for the ride. Like you know what I mean? Like there was like even growing up,
Which
you can
there's
see that
nothing
too.
wrong with
No,
any
absolutely
version.
not.
So
Absolutely
like,
not.
Yeah.
But it's just my personality was just not like that.
Yeah.
And so like I guess growing up in that way, it was a little bit of a con because it's like I felt like sometimes people were like trying to create a competition or some kind of intrinsic battle. That was a good word. Like intrinsic battle or some kind of competition between us that was literally never there. Like I always tell Ava this, like whenever we're like in a rut or whatever, like Ava's success is my success and my success is Ava's success. Like I, as a twin, you really like there's nothing that I do good in anything that isn't directly tied to something that Ava helped me with. And even like, and I'm saying that truly because it's
That's
like
so sweet. I mean,
thank you. No, but I mean it because it's like, because again, there's at least when I know other twins, I mean, other people are different. You know, you have different relationships with your twin or like your sibling or whatever. But it's like Ava and I, we never had that competition where it's like if Ava did like
yeah,
got it,
it was
if Ava,
never
if
there.
Ava did like if Ava got like 8 serves in a row, like I had to get
It
mine.
was
like,
never
it was
even
never
like
it wasn't even a question.
It wasn't even a part of my conscious like observation. Like I wasn't
No.
ever like focused on it until people came in, and even then, like it didn't change my mind. But like you paid more attention.
You
to
just
it.
like were able to identify.
Yeah,
it.
you were just able to identify it. Like even we never focused on it until
No.
people brought it up, and even then it didn't change anything.
No.
But it was just weird that people would focus
literally
on
precisely.
Yeah.
Literally precisely. And it's like I don't know. It's just and it's like as you get older too, it's like you know you deal with like I don't know like insecurity and like growing up and stuff, and it's like it's just you don't. It's really really annoying to just have like this added thing because it's like you're already comparing yourself to everybody else, and a lot of times people tell you like oh like nobody's doing that like you know that's just like in your own head, but as an individual it's easier I guess to like know that, but it's like when you're twins you like people are literally coming up to you and being like
great point.
you know what I mean?
That's
like
a
people are
great
literally
point.
coming up to me and be like, so what's Ava up to? Like,
Yeah.
why aren't you like this? Like, oh, Ava, like, I literally remember coaches coming up to me and being like, why aren't you doing this? Like, Ava did it. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, or like being like, Ava was, shout out to Ava, she was MVP like multiple times. Or actually, no, I think just once, right?
I don't know.
I think you were MVP. Like, you were MVP at something.
Are you talking about middle school?
No,
Oh,
absolutely not.
in
I
high
was just,
school?
yeah, maybe. Or I'm just saying, like if Ava like accomplished something, like in at least athletically, like people would literally come up to me like, "Where's yours?" And I'm like, "Bro, like it's like again as
It's
an individual,
pointed out and highlighted
exactly." And it's like
more so.
exactly, and you can't say in your brain like, "Oh, nobody's doing like it's just something I'm doing to myself," because people are literally coming up to you and be like actively because. As an individual, no one's gonna come up to you and compare you. I mean, maybe,
Compare you to
but,
your
like,
friend.
you
You
know,
know,
like or
nobody
I guess
does
it's less
that.
common. Let's just say not
Yeah.
no one. It's less common, but it's like no. Like as an individual, when you're being compared or when you're thinking you're being compared, it's normally just like intrinsic, or it's like oh like you know she's just like so great, or like you know one of your like you might be. I guess naturally jealous of someone, or like you know you're like oh I wish I could do this, like you know I wish I could get that score, I wish I could be that person, or I wish I could do that thing, and it's like that's like an internal comparison where you're like or like an intrinsic thing where it's like you know what I should really stop comparing myself to other people. I need to be my competition needs to be with me. I just need to focus on improving myself and what I'm doing, and that's honestly what you should be doing regardless, right? Comparison kills. Like, and I really deeply think that you like everybody's
That's so
circumstance is
true.
so different,
And it kind of
And
gets
again-
worse when you get older.
exactly.
And yeah, just having that. But
And
I
it's
feel
like because it's so open and because everybody's so comfortable with comparing twins naturally, it's like it's not even like you can deny the fact that people are comparing you because everybody is. And that's why coming to college was so different because automatically we were put in an environment where
separate.
you're an individual.
Yeah.
Like you have to again the whole pressure of like bringing up the fact that like oh by the way like I'm a twin just so you know like you know I don't know it's just different.
It is different. And I think, it never, people don't know, it's so much different too, because I feel like also we always had a good head on our shoulders to where like, normally like when people compare, some people, people's words stick.
No, and
that's
it's like,
another thing.
Even no matter how confident you are, no matter how
Right,
high your
that's the
self-esteem is,
point.
it's going to
People's
affect you at
words
some
stick.
degree.
And when you talk to someone and like, and obviously like we say this and we're not like, oh, you people who did this, like you suck. No,
no.
we're just
Oh my
saying
God.
like
This
this
is
is just
just
natural,
generally.
but like being a twin, you definitely do get compared more because it's almost like there's an inherent version of you that is bound to be comparable and related to some part of you that can be compared.
Absolutely. And it's like, even like, put like outside accomplishment aside, even like looks and stuff. Like, oh, like who's like,
but
even
we were never compared about looks. That's very interesting.
No, but like,
or at least not that I knew of. Like, people might have been.
I don't know. Like, I've gotten like, I don't know, maybe like I've gotten a few comments here and there, or it's like, I don't know, like stuff about like, oh, who's like the nice one, who's like the bitchy one. Like, I've literally been asked that.
No,
and I was super confused. Like, I was like, what do you even want me to say?
I've never heard someone been like, at least to our face, like who's prettier.
Oh,
like no one said that.
I just mean like, again, by looks I meant like identifiers. Like, what's the difference? Like, personality. Literally, like, what's the difference between your face and off? Like, what are you even?
Can you
I don't
see?
know. Like, can you not? No, it's like, what am I supposed to even say? Like, I don't even know. Like, again, like the whole like who has more like, who has more? I don't know. It's just kind of annoying. Like, it was just something that just becomes more inherent because of the situation that we were just in, and it's like, I guess being like, again, growing up, like I guess after the majority of our lives, we were around the same group of people all the time. Like, we never really moved either. So it's like,
yeah, Avina and I did not move. Like, we stayed in the same house from kinder to high school, college, end of high school,
like
college,
literally college. Like, we're still in the same house.
Yeah.
And so it's like the people that we were around were also, again, same school, same like general area. Like, we literally go outside. Like, we expect. Even our town, our city is not like super huge, but it's not like super small.
Our city is big.
Like,
our high school is not that big.
Our high school was super small.
It is big, but like compared to like other high schools, it's pretty small. We had like 400, 300, late 300.
Late 100.
High 300.
Late 300.
Late 300. She's a little late.
She's a little late.
But yeah, like we were around the same people all throughout. Like people always.
So it's like identity-wise, like
and they knew us.
They had a set idea of who we were, I guess, and who we were around. So it was like kind of nice to, like, I guess, be like, oh, okay, like, there's Aveen and then there's Ava, not always like Ava and Aveen. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't lumped.
Yeah.
Intrinsically. I don't know. It's funny.
But yeah, that's our episode, and we hope you enjoyed it. Next episode, we're going to be talking about volleyball.
Oh my gosh.
Which Aveen and I, for y'all that don't know, Aveen and I only played one sport. Actually, no, we did gymnastics.
No, not anymore. I play 2 sports. Or not play. I love bouldering.
Aveen loves rock climbing and bouldering. But I'm talking like, but I'm talking about like throughout like our childhood.
I had to say Ava hates it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but like for us, I think we played volleyball for a long time.
Yeah.
And again, we have a lot of stories from volleyball,
There's
a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of comparison stuff
and bad
good
stuff.
stuff, massive. So next episodes are going to be about volleyball, and it's going to be a good one. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Again, we talk about this all the time. So
bye, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed the episode.
Bye.